What's going on, guys? Glock Guy 226 here, and tonight I'm bringing you guys the Benelli M4 back, but with a heck of a lot of upgrades, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so we are back with the Benelli M4, and this thing is a world of difference from the last time I had it here on the channel. Before we get into all the upgrades, I'm going to go ahead and safety check it, as always. And as you guys can see, that big old chamber is empty. Nothing in the mag tube. So, to start off, guys, the Benelli M4 is an incredible shotgun. My last video, I've done a couple videos on this now, running it, talking about it a little bit. You know, is it really worth the money? And in my honest opinion, yes, I really do think this thing is worth the money. Now, I would try to go out and find a deal on it. You know, my buddy got a pretty good deal on this shotgun. I don't know if I'd go out and pay $2,000 for it per se, but man, this thing is just built like a tank. And this is one of those guns, you pick it up, you know, run the action, check it out, and you can tell that this thing is just built. I mean, it's amazing. This is probably one of the nicest shotguns I've ever had the chance to shoot and handle. I really hope one day to add one of these to my collection, and believe me, now that I've had the chance to babysit it, and you know, it stared me in the face a little bit, I really, really want one, guys. But for now, let's go ahead and check out what my buddy has done to this thing. So, to begin with, as you guys seen it, as it was last configured, it had the one-piece Benelli stock. Well, he's since upgraded to the three-position stock from Benelli, which comes with the actual stock, the new grip, and guys, this thing is sweet. So what you're going to do here is, as you can see, it kind of turns at just about like a 40-45 degree angle to reposition it. And this here is in the third position, which it's a pretty long configuration. I'll try to get it all in screen. But even in that position, guys, it's really pretty comfortable. The position we have both pretty much agreed on that we like is the middle position here, which that's probably more common, what most guys will run. The third position is, of course, all the way up front, which that's probably more of like a transporting thing, or if you're riding in a vehicle, I completely understand that. And then it's just a matter of pushing this button right here in. As you turn it, bring it back to the position, sorry guys, trying to do it with my left hand, and lock it in place. And guys, this thing is solid. It has no wobble. This thing is great. A typical Benelli product, and to be honest, it's an expensive stock. One thing I've noticed with the Benelli M4, and I'm sure this goes for every Benelli shotgun, all of the parts and accessories are very, very expensive. Whether they're from Benelli or from another company manufacturing parts for the Benellis, guys, they are really, really pricey. Some of the things that really suck about this, though, alright, say you buy your M4 just how my buddy had it configured, the one-piece stock. You know, you want to throw the Benelli 3-position on there, or you want to throw the Benelli mag tube on there, the mag tube extension. You have to keep it 922R compliant, which means guns can only have a certain number of foreign parts on them. They have to have a specific number of US made parts. So as my buddy did these upgrades of foreign, but Benelli manufactured parts, he had to buy US parts to make this 922R compliant. So we went over the three-position stock. It also did come with the new grip, which is a really comfortable grip, guys. It almost has the look of like a saw grip. My Arsenal Sam 7 SF came with a grip very similar to this, and it is very comfortable. It is rubber overmolded, kind of like a Hogue grip, but a little bit thicker rubber. Very, very comfortable. So the next noticeable upgrade, guys, if you guys can see that nickel Teflon coated trigger. Well, this is a Freedom Fighter tactical trigger. Very, very nice setup, guys. It really brings the trigger weight down roughly 2 pounds. Throwing my trigger scale on it, we were getting right between 5.5 to 6 pound pulls pretty consistently. And guys, it is a nice trigger. I really have enjoyed this so far. And that comes with your hammer, disconnector, and the actual trigger shoe itself. So it is nice, but once again, guys, like I said, very, very expensive. The trigger kit alone is a little over $200. Now, is that absolutely necessary to get? In my opinion, no, it's not really necessary. If you're trying to keep things 922R compliant, then maybe. They do sell all of the trigger components separately, the hammer, the disconnector, the actual trigger shoe. but they are also very pricey. So it really just depends on how many parts you need to keep your Benelli, 922R compliant. So one thing about this trigger, or really about Freedom Fighter Tactical in general, all of their parts, guys, seem very, very top-notch, very quality. One thing that I was not very happy about with this trigger. So I had the Benelli here at my house, doing some testing, pictures, whatever. My buddy came over because he got some of these parts in for it, so he wanted to come over and throw the parts on it. Well, as we were putting the trigger in, guys, which is kind of a bear, the whole trigger assembly to the Benellis, but anyways, we got the new trigger in, this Freedom Fighter Tactical, and it locked up. It just would not move, guys. It was completely locked up. So we disassembled it, got a micrometer out, and measured the width of the hammer from the stock trigger and the width of the hammer on this Freedom Fighter Tactical. Well, the Freedom Fighter Tactical had 2,000ths of an inch more metal on it than that factory hammer did, guys. So we had to take some metal off of a $200+ trigger. Now, I told my buddy, I was like, man, I would send it back. I said, you paid over $200. It's not the point that we can't fix it. We can't get it to work. It's just the point that you pay $200 for a trigger, and it comes to you, and you have to do your own machining on it. It'd be one thing if on their website it says, may have to do some fitting. I understand that. I've gotten a lot of parts where you have to do your own fitting, but I was a little disappointed in that aspect. But now that we got it nice and tuned, guys, we polished it up real nice. It is a very, very smooth system. So the next thing from Freedom Fighter Tactical we want to take a look at is this nice charging handle. Now this is a titanium charging handle, guys, and it is a big improvement from the stock Benelli charging handle. Now these are very, very simple to change if you guys do own a Benelli. It is a really, really great upgrade. Once again though, guys, it is a very expensive upgrade also for what it is. Like I said, I think it's a very great upgrade. It really helps you get a good grip on that charging handle. You're not going to miss it. But at the same time, once again, guys, Benelli parts very expensive. So another thing we did from Freedom Fighter Tactical is we put a US-made Freedom Fighter Tactical follower, which you probably won't be able to see in there. Really not anything, you're not missing a whole lot there, guys. Also from Freedom Fighter Tactical is this carrier. So quite a few parts from Freedom Fighter, and honestly, guys, they seem to be thus far a really quality company that makes quality parts. I just had a different outlook on them once we had to fit that trigger ourselves. I was kind of ready just to throw the trigger in and it be done. And like I said, I've gotten a lot of parts for guns where it will tell you may have to do some fitting, and that's completely understandable. I just think for a $200+ trigger, you shouldn't have to do that stuff. So the next thing, getting up front here, guys, a new Surefire light. And guys, this mount is from AVA Tactical, and man, is this thing sweet. Probably one of the nicer mounts I've ever seen for a firearm in general. So like I mentioned, is from AVA Tactical, and what it is, guys, is just a barrel clamp, obviously, but it has a Picatinny rail section that you can put here if you wanted to put whatever other accessories you would need. I don't know why you would need more if you have the light. But also comes with this super nice ALG made QD socket for a sling. And trying to do it with my other hand. But guys, this socket, this sling swivel alone is like $30-something, which, is it worth that? I don't really know, but it is really, really nice. So the light, guys, is a Surefire PX2 Fury. And man, I really didn't know a whole lot about this light until my buddy mentioned it. And the more I got to look at it, it is a 600 lumen powerhouse, guys. Built typical Surefire quality. The price of it is very, very decent. And what I really like about this light mount setup, as you guys can see how tucked in that is to the barrel. So what's really nice is perfect positioning for, hitting that button with your thumb there. And it really, really illuminates that front night sight, which is really, really cool at night, guys. So if you guys are interested in like a full-size flashlight, this Surefire PX2 Fury is not to be looked over, guys. An AVA Tactical mount, I think they actually sold this in a package to my buddy, and I'm not positive on what the package cost him. I know it wasn't cheap, guys, but when you're buying quality gun parts, it's not going to be cheap. There's no getting around that. And especially with the Benelli M4, you can't throw junk on this thing. It's just, if someone bought an M4 and threw a bunch of, you know, Tapco crap on it or whatever other brands out there that really aren't up to par, it'd be kind of disappointing. So guys, that is most of the upgrades done to this thing. I think the other thing he did was change the magazine spring from a 5-round to the Benelli 7-round magazine spring. And we haven't ran it a whole lot, guys. We do plan on putting at least another 500 rounds through this just for testing purposes, and I'm sure it'll get shot a heck of a lot more than that 500. But we're putting a cap at 500 just to make sure everything's running flawlessly, kind of see how everything breaks in. So I will be sure to get some footage on that. I hope you guys like the Benelli. The Benelli video got quite a few views, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that. So do expect to see more of this Benelli on the channel, and hopefully in the near future, guys, hopefully we'll have a Benelli for ourselves. I'm kind of thinking sometime down the road, definitely picking one of these up. This is just one of them guns that after you shoot it, you go back and shoot other shotguns, and it's like, you know, there's no comparison. There's no going back to this. It's kind of like shooting a finely tuned 1911 and then going to like a Taurus 1911. It's just, there's no comparison. It kind of runs it for everything else. So hopefully we will have one of these before long, but if not, the Benelli M4 will be around on the channel, guys. You'll see a lot of it here. So besides the M4, we're doing some exciting things with Tango Arms. You can now go to tangoarms.com and check out the video section, which will directly link you to most of my videos that are about the products he sells, which is really, really cool of Mike to do. He also created a YouTube channel, Tango Arms, so please go subscribe to that. It is all pretty much my videos that directly links to the products he sells, installation videos, product reviews, stuff like that. So, I mean, if you're here on my channel, you may have seen that stuff, but if you want a quick link to most like the Agency Arms stuff, you can go to Tango Arms YouTube channel and see that stuff very fast as well. So, hope you guys liked the video. Please sub to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good night, guys.